Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Wade Watches. I'm Wade, and believe it or not, welcome to another amazing, awesome, fresh out of the movie theater review. And hey, I know what you're thinking. Wade, where's the poster? Why aren't you standing in front of the poster like you usually do? Let me tell you something. It is insanely hot out where I am right now, and I will give myself credit where credit is due. I tried to do just that for the sake of this video. I stood in front of the poster, did my thing. I was dying. It's way too hot out here. The poster is like right out there in the open where all the sun was coming down. So just for today, hopefully you guys have the pleasure of watching me talk about a movie in front of this lovely wall right here. You know, it's an interesting colored wall, so admire that. Look at that. But anyway, I just got through watching from the world of John Wick, Ballerina, even though on screen it was called Ballerina, so I guess I'll just call it that. I just got through watching the latest spin-off in the John Wick universe. So with that being said, this isn't a prequel to John Wick. It's not a sequel to John Wick. It is a spin-off taking place in this universe. And with that in mind, going into this, I was very much like, I just went in with my expectations kind of, lowered. I thought that, like I'm sure some people out there will agree that, this franchise had a perfect beginning, middle, and yes, end, and that there's just no point in going on anymore. And if you've seen John Wick Chapter 4, you will know why it's very obvious that there's probably no point in continuing, but, money is money, and movie studios are going to do what movie studios do best. So here we are, and I have to say that I was kind of wrong to be pessimistic, because having just seen this, walking out of it, I thoroughly enjoyed myself with this one. I had a blast watching Ballerina, and when it started off, I was kind of like, I was still kind of like, okay, here we go again. But the more it went on, the more I was like, you know what? This is really good. This is really fun. But with all of that being said, even with the solid, badass action that you've come to expect from this franchise, and it is very badass here. It's nonstop here. Even with Ana de Armas being a solid action lead in her own right, even though I actually cared about her character and she had a compelling backstory in her own right, even with all of those positive elements working for this thing, there was never a point where it broke the mold, where it broke free from that formula. This is that standard textbook revenge action story. And whether depending on you as a person, whether you wanted this to be as exceptional as the John Wick movies, or whether you weren't expecting much from this like me, depending on what you want, depending on what you're expecting, you may like that, you may love it, or you may really hate it. It really depends on you as a person. But for me myself personally, I really like that. I had a blast watching this. I had a fun time watching this movie. I love the action. I love the shootouts. I love the gung fu, and I love the brutal kills. And again, I really ended up enjoying Ana de Armas's character. She's no John Wick, but she's still a solid character with a solid, compelling backstory, or at least a solid and compelling enough backstory for this film. All of the returning faces are really solid. There are some returning faces that have like 5 minutes of screen time tops. When Keanu came on, and that's not a spoiler. I thought about being super vague for this, but then I realized over the past week, I've gotten like 100 YouTube ads where the first thing you see is Keanu Reeves himself talking about the movie. They don't even show Ana de Armas being interviewed for it, so it's not a spoiler. We all know John Wick's in this thing. And when he came on, the movie didn't try to completely ride on his coattails. It didn't shift focus and make everything about him. He is a side character in Eve Macaro's story. That's Ana de Armas's character, as he should be, because it's called Ballerina. So there you have it. And really, honestly, that's all she wrote with this one. Like I said, there's no revelations here. There's nothing that took me by surprise. There's nothing that really shocked me or took me aback. But I don't mind that, because I was thoroughly entertained with all that I was presented with. So wrapping it up, I'm going to go ahead and give Ballerina the same rating I gave Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. It's a solid 8.5 out of 10. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. But like I said, there's nothing that elevated it to that really, like, that peak action level. It is, of course, we have to keep in mind that the previous John Wick films did do just that. All four of them, really. I know some people are kind of like, John Wick 2 and John Wick 3 weren't as good as one, but I thoroughly enjoyed all of them, and John Wick 4 is a masterpiece in my opinion. And even though it didn't quite reach that level, it's not worthless. It's not without its merits, and it's not without its, capability to thoroughly entertain and engage me, which it did. So it's a solid 8.5 out of 10. This has been another edition of Wade Watches, and I'll see you lovely people next time. Stay cool if you're somewhere really hot like me. Peace.